kind of ushers you inside. Kind of looks out. He kind of looks, sees something, pushes the bird, and then he looks back. And when you go in, you see that the home, quote unquote, is sparsely furnished. It's only about 30 feet square and has a pile of furs to use as a bed, as well as some food and water and kind of clay jugs and barrels or buckets. A quarterstaff leans against the wall next to a stone spear. A sledgehammer is fashioned out of iron and hardwood, and a handmade longbow with a quiver of some 60 or 70 arrows. In the north end of the cave is a small cultivated plot of earth, which grows several types of fungi, oddly enough. Some woven clothing are next to the bed, as well as a pile of sewing needles and thread in a little wooden box. When you go inside, you see that there is a enormous grizzly bear sleeping in the cave.
I gently lean over and oh god, here we go. I gently lean over and I whisper into his ears, is that your wife?
And he says, well,
is she a druid as well?
Oh my god.
Yeah, he comes in after you and he says, don't mind Filigree, she's harmless. And when you look at him and you look back and you see that the bear has been replaced with a lovely, voluptuous woman who is shape changed into a grizzly bear.
I did not expect that joke, Luke. Like,
yeah, well,
good stuff.
It's true.
I would have gone a different way with that, but you know what?
Yeah, sure.
That was great. That was great.
She's a tall, thin woman with a bearskin jacket, no shoes. She has unruly blonde hair. The man kind of laughs at your appraisal of her, and because it was true. As she stands up, he says, "My love, this is Alistair. He's here to help." And the woman rushes over and she says, "I'm so worried about you." And they start to like make out like right there, like a lot of tongue going on.
Jeez.
And they like
at least she remembered to change back to human, so
they obviously forget you're there.
Oh, then.
Luke joins in.
I make polite and then increasingly non-polite coughing noises, but yeah.
So they stop. The ranger said, and at this point, she was like basically, she had leapt up into his like around his chest kind of thing, and he kind of peels her off of him and sets her down. And he says, "Pardon me. I seem to have forgotten my hospitality. This is my partner Filigree, watcher and initiate of the druids of Thunderonis." Filigree says, "Erpe has granted our prayers." She looks you up and down.
I know some of these words.
Hmm?
Nothing.
Okay. And he says to her, "My love, do you, as you can see, Alistair here has suffered grievous wounds. By what, I couldn't tell you." He says, "Do you have any of that blood heal still, or could you fashion some?" And she says, "Oh yeah, I can definitely do that." And she says, "Can I take a look?"
Of course, I'll
He hides his
put forward
erection
my
first,
hand.
obviously, though.
And Alice tries futilely to hide his erection.
I don't think you understand. The mud is packed in such a way that it's all kind of mysterious. So.
Oh, shit.
No, I'll hold out kind of the hand and show it like the mud, and I'll also.
Where did you get these wounds? Was it a burn?
We encountered a creature, a cube of gel or gelatinous material inside the Minotaur's tomb. I wasn't.
An ooze then?
Yes, an ooze.
Was it an ooze, a mold, or a pudding?
I don't understand your question. I'm sorry.
There are three very different types of creatures that share that kind of makeup. There are oozes, which are gels and slimes. There are molds, which release spores and poisons and that burn. And there are puddings, which are semi-sentient. Does this appear to have some sort of sentience?
No, it just came towards us endlessly.
Good, but pudding's very deadly and possessive, and she kind of grabs you by the face and opens your eyes, like to see if you got any pudding in there or anything.
Got pudding in your eyes.
I guess I give her a description of like the encounter. I guess I start kind of recalling and going through the process of what has happened as she's inspecting or whatever. I'll just kind of present the information, whatever she asks. Yeah.
Sure, and she says, "Have a seat on the skins there."
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'll
Won't you have
sit
a seat
down
over there?
Yeah, and she will she will begin to. She gets like a mortar and pestle and begins to grab some of the mushrooms, and then she asks Xander to go out and find her some apple blossom legume seeds, and whatnot, and he returns with that. You could sense that Xander has some sort of ability to, locate animals and plants. So he comes back within minutes, and she mixes it together. She gets some water, some of the snow, mixes that together, and eventually she's got the sort of paste that she begins to apply to you. And she says, "This will astringe the bleeding, and will cause a sort of shell around you that will reduce the This will improve the comfort of the wounds."
A lot better than rags and blood, I must say.
Yeah, so Alistair, that's going to put you at 1/2 movement and only a -1.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are a bit quicker. And she says, "I can give you some more of this when this needs to be replaced every day in the morning."
All right.
And she says, and then Xander comes back and he says, "My love, I need to show him where they're going, where the undead are going." She says, "Be safe." And then
they.
I guess
here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't have a passionate farewell.
They have a passionate farewell.
Okay, there we go.
At Alistair's expressed insistence.
Yeah. I'm once again coughing as I'm walking out, like.
Yeah. Xander leads the way. A mile you walk with Xander, seeing nothing. A mile towards the center of the forest, you come to a dense copse of trees that provide very good cover, and Xander kind of crouches low. He's got his bow, and he pushes his hand towards the ground to indicate, like, silently, that you do the same.
All right.
He says, "There, you see that?"
I'll follow his.
He whispers. Through more trees, towards where Xander is pointing, looking at, you've got a good view of the front door of a 2-story cubic stone building. You see there are bars on all of the windows. Some barred windows flush with the overgrown grass indicates there could be a basement as well. You also see about 40 or 50 zombies and a like number of skeletons in various states of decay and undeath, milling about the front, sides, and back. They appear non-violent and non-agitated. They are just standing there. He says, "The old asylum. They used to call it the Rock. It's very old. Originally they grew this forest around the asylum because they feared for its inmates. Superstitious folk. Turned out they were right all along. Everything was fine until
Fire Nation attack.
Yeah, everything was fine until this happened. I don't know what set it off. It was like a switch turned on."
I have a feeling that we may be responsible.
Responsible? What do you mean?
Well, do you remember earlier when I was talking about the cube and that tomb of the Minotaur? We were tasked. Did you encounter any wyverns lately in your forest?
Definitely, everybody has. The dwarves.
We were tasked.
Same.
Yeah, we were tasked with finding out what was going on. We had information given to us that the tomb was up in Wyvern Falls. We went there. We encountered Alaxis, the Minotaur mage, a figure from history and legend around here. We encountered him, he attacked us, and we defeated him. He said something about the ghouls and talked about Blackheart, who is probably one of the most notorious inmates in this rock. It's strange that growing up here, I always knew that the forest was there, but we were always told to stay away from it. I guess this is why. But since we destroyed the mage, I think we might have set this in motion.
I suppose there's no way you could have known, I guess. I mean, I don't know why people have to go poking around in places where they have no business.
Curiosity is a double-edged sword, I suppose.
Kind of looks away from you, and he looks back at the thing. He looks away again, and he says, "Zombies and skeletons, mostly. A few ghouls, but there's too many of them. I've tried to observe best I could while trying to slow them down. I kill them, they get up again, till there ain't nothing left. I don't dare risk burning the forest down. As you can see, the building's made of stone and won't make a difference. I devised me and Filigree, my lover, have devised a sound plan I believe might work, or at least get some more information for us. Let's cut to Engelard and Walzer.
All right.
You guys, this is not on par with time. You guys have ridden several hours. It's only been about an hour for Walzer. But anyway,
Yeah,
you guys eventually make it to the kind of more southern area of Wyvern Falls, or not Wyvern Falls, of Fort Mitchell, rather.
All right.
Which is kind of the next southern town from Wyvern Falls. Engelard, I doubt you've ever been here.
Yeah.
Oral and Alistair and Engelard came through here whenever Alistair was stung by the wyvern in the shoulder. Do you remember it's really dirty and nasty and homeless people all over the place, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I suppose since I've been to this area, I've just been more or less following where... I keep saying the wrong names. Walzer. Keep getting you two mixed up. Where Walzer... I've just been basically following Walzer.
Yeah. And he says, so when you guys make it, it's about midday now, when you guys snow's kind of coming about, there are two guards at the front, or at the gate, and they say, hold up there. Slow down. Where's the fire?
I ignore them and keep riding.
Well, the gate's closed.
Well, I assume we can go around the town, right?
You can, but the going around the town would mean you were heading into Basilisk territory.
Yeah, I hold up and I'm like, you're going to have to move out of the way. We need to get through right quick.
This toll is 4 silvers per head, 8 for animals.
I reach into my bag, just whatever bag I can, and I
Okay.
toss him 2 gold pieces, and I say, move out of the way.
Says, all right, yeah. And they open the gate. He says, sorry to keep you waiting, sir.
And I just ride on through.
Yep.
Yeah. Right on.
And since I'm with him, I assume I'm paid for as well, and just go.
Yep. Yeah. When you're now, do you want to just ride through whoever happens to be in your way?
Well, we'll slow down to a pace, but
There are
if
people
it's
kind of crossing the path, through the.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a straight shot through to the other gate, but still there are people milling about, homeless mostly.
Fucking hobos.
yeah, I basically I'm saying get out of the way or you're gonna get hurt as I'm going through.
Homeless practically rot the
Yep.
streets. Fat housewives throw chamber pots out into your path.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch.
Fruit carts just knock over
Yeah, cabbages.
Like cabbages.
you looked at an alleyway, you see a dead horse with a bite taken out of it and a dead dog next to it.
Are there people beating it?
No.
Okay.
God
There will
damn it,
be.
man.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we get through as fast as possible. I mean, if people are in the way, I'm going to push them out of the way, but I'm not going to, knock over people or...
Okay.
you know, whatever.
You go straight to the opposite doors, continuing on your way.
Yep.
So an hour and 20 minutes from your departure from Fort Mitchell, you spy a mounted rider coming down your way, down the thing. Now, at this point, the road is narrow, so you may want to slow down, or you can just ride through him. He's also galloping with all speed. He's dressed in armor as well, a black cloak.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I wanna raise my hand as I come up to him.
Heading opposite.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll raise my hand as I come up, and I mean, obviously, it looks like we're going fast as well. So, does he slow down at all?
So are you stopped or?
Yeah, I'll stop and wait for him.
Yeah.
Okay. So he attempts to stop, but this is the thing. Whenever he tries to stop, the horse kind of rears up, and because of the ice and the snow, the horse actually loses its footing when it rears up.
Okay.
Okay. The man actually falls off the back of the horse.
I get off my horse and help the man up.
I stay on my horse.
Yeah. So the horse kind of rears up and it kind of and then it runs off. The horse does. It looks to be I mean, this is kind of I mean, this is a weird situation.
Yeah.
So when you go over to see the horse, when you kind of lift he's not moving or anything. When you come up to the man on the armored man, and you try to lift him up, you see that his head is stuck to the ground.
Oh man.
When you try to lift it up, it requires some force, and you see that there's a rock where you lift him up and blood falls out the back of his head.
Oh Jesus Christ.
As in the rock hit him in the back of the head?
Like he fell off the horse.
Oh, right, okay.
Crashed through.
Does he have any messages on him?
Funny you should mention that. He does indeed.
All right, I'll get off my horse.
Two of them, in fact.
I'll read both the messages.
The scroll is sealed with the seal of a hammer forging in a waterfall, like a hammer beating into the side of a mountain and water coming out of it.
Do I recognize it?
You know that this is the seal of Thunderonus and its king, King Cutlip III.
Alright.
So you still open it? There are two of them.
Yeah, I open it.
I will. I'm gonna give this to you privately, Walzer.
Okay.
I guess I'd be trying without a heal check. I guess I'd just be trying to wrap.
Oh, does he have a pulse? I mean, let's just before any of this opens. Is he just flat out dead? Or is he just bleeding out? What is it?
Who's looking?
I'm looking. I got the heal check, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think that bizarrely he is dead.
Oh, well, what a surprise.
You're not sure whether or not he was dead already.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, I go ahead and read it anyway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna try. I don't know.
That cloak looks pretty good. You should take it.
The cloak is very fine. The armor is very fine.
What is chainmail? Tempting.
He's wearing a tabard with the official kingdom with the official royal seal on it, or the original sigil on it, I guess, the hammer forging and anvil, marking him as an official envoy of the king.
Okay.
Seems a bit dark. Just go and loot the guy the moment that we try to just talk to him and he falls off.
Well,
can I do a heal check to see how old the wound is, out of curiosity?
You find it certainly strange that normally they don't have mounted envoys. Normally they would send ravens.
Okay.
This seems odd to you.
Alright.
The second message I'll send to you also.
Ah, yeah.
The man also has a purse containing 24 silver pieces and 2 copper arch coins.
Don't give a fuck about the money right now.
Hey, you don't. There's nothing much else for me to do while you're reading these messages, so I'm pocketing stuff.
All right. Do you want to read those aloud or no?
Let me just read them first.
He has a saddlebag which contains turnips, potatoes, and hard bread. He carries a long sword which appears to have seen much use and is only in fair condition. The horse was a young charger, but it appears to be skittish, obviously.
Is it still up miranding around us?
Yeah, you see it in the distance. Kind of stopped. It's hanging about.
Right. Oh, maybe you should go get that horse.
Sure. And try.
Okay.
So,
the horse, as you get closer, the horse edges away from you. Yeah, you imagine you probably have the stink of death about you.
Really interesting. Not much I can do about it. I mean, he's probably just gonna keep running since he's obviously not tied up to anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can probably get it. Damn horses.
So what was the first message? Was that the seal? They're both sealed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
The one that starts, and Luke just... This addresses a man named Luke, not you. That's his name.
Yep.
Alright, fair enough then.
Hang on. Yeah.
Inside or...
Sorry, I'm really slow reader.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. I don't understand the second letter.
Well, I might.
I mean,
Tell
like,
me what it
it
is.
makes no sense that he would be riding this horse. But
Well, maybe I can. I don't know.
What makes you say that?
Read.
because it says, any who is found riding a horse with the king's brand is in violation of his law and shall be branded upon the cheek of traitor. But the horse is the property of the Royal Highness. Like, it doesn't make any sense that this messenger would be riding this horse.
Why not?
Because it reads that any who is found riding this horse with the king's brand is going to be branded a traitor.
Maybe
Well,
that's the point.
someone who's not supposed to be riding it. You imagine.
Yeah. Well, it literally says any who is found riding a horse with the king's brand is in
Found.
violation.
Hey, anybody that's found riding. Yeah. I mean.
All right, I pass the letters off to Jay Engelard, and I'm
A
like,
voice says from the wind.
yeah, and I'm like, this is this is more your realm. I say we get on this horse and we keep riding.
All right.
Would you like to read the letter aloud for the folks at home?
Well.
Yeah, I can do that.
Is anybody there?
So the first one says, Luke, Devoily will do. He'll be sent at once. I trust everything goes as planned as far as the temple is concerned. We hope to begin worshipping early to middle next year, around Havard most likely. The paladins ride for their lieges tomorrow. The merchants are in place. Still waiting on words from Emeldur. Not sure where he is or what he is doing. Last I heard he was heading south. Send a bird if you catch wind of the elf. He always did like changing his name. Odin or will return any message back to the capital. Laris sends his greetings and salutations from court. He tells me he has a present for you. I would like you to go ahead and begin travel as soon as possible. Begin gathering what forces you need. Plan well in advance. This initiative shall take us many a year to complete, so plan accordingly. You've been given substantial gold with which to work. Good luck. May she give you strength. Alexander Maggie, the hand of King Cutlip the Third. The second one says, number 8. This horse is the property of His Royal Highness King Cutlip the Third of Thunderonus, of his personal stables. Any who is found riding a horse with the king's brand is in violation of his law and shall be branded upon the cheek as a traitor, and will live out his days in permanent exile of Thunderonus and its walls and keeps. Those who return his animal to his royal stable shall receive a reward not exceeding 4 majestic pieces.
Oh, basically it's saying the horse is royal property, and anybody found riding it is a traitor because obviously they stole it.
Oh yeah, but that guy was riding it.
So he stole it.
So he stole it.
But he
And the
also
first
has
message-
he also has messages from the king. So
That's not from the
How
king.
mysterious.
hmm.
It's from the right-hand man of the king, or whatever his title was.
Hmm.
The,
Well,
the point
what
is,
do you think?
I think that I'm not sure if this is related to our problem, but the timing is suspicious.
Well, I get back on.
Something
I
is-
get back on one of the horses that I have, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
obviously, I imagine that we would have gone back. on
not my
horses.
problem. And then
Okay.
we keep riding.
Yeah,
Do you take the
I'm-
messages or leave them behind? Or...
I'm taking the messages.
Okay.
But I am not riding that horse. We
Yeah.
leave the other horse behind.
Okay. Just hanging out. Yeah, that's fine.
Obviously, that horse is stolen, and I don't want to deal with that.
You don't want to be branded on the cheek as a traitor and
To,
live in exile.
From a country, yeah.
So I assume that this messenger was sent to be killed then, by virtue of him riding a horse, carrying the messages. It's like a messenger carrying like a message that says to kill the messenger, sort of thing.
But the messenger might have already been dead.
Yeah, well, he's a very good rider for a man who's dead.
Or maybe
Yes.
it doesn't. Maybe it means nothing.
Oh,
You just turn on your cameras again, guys.
Who knows what it could mean?
Hmm,
Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's the most important message you've ever seen.
maybe.
You'll never
who
know.
knows?
Who knows?
I'm going to assume that it is not related yet to our current problem, but
Okay.
obviously forces somewhere are mobilizing to do something. and that's
Anyways,
not-
we shall
Sorry.
continue riding towards Therobrus.
Yes.
Thistlebarrow, sorry. My bad.
Yes.
Says another name on the wind.
Yeah. Night falls and you keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It's very late at night, kind of probably midnight, when you
Sure.
reach Boswell's Manor. Okay, you made pretty good time.
Sure.
Good.
What do you do?
Well, I walk over to the stables. I put the horses in the stables. Make sure they have
Okay.
water or whatever.
Sure.
And then I walk up to the door and I bang really loudly on the door, like, sort of style.
Oh,
Time passes. A little bit of time passes, and eventually Byron comes and opens the door. He's kind of wearing a, not formal attire.
I push the door open and walk in, and then I say, "We need to speak to Thistlebarrows right now."
He says, "Excuse me," and if you recall, the nighttime guardsman is there.
I'm just trying to find
He
his name
says,
now.
You
so-
again.
Yes, me
Sure.
again. Wake up the halfling. We need to talk.